Warning. The stories portrayed in this show are based on real events and extremely graphic. The names haven't even been changed to protect their identities. Do not attempt to try any of the actions depicted. Masons are everywhere. Some of us try to avoid them. Others can't get out of their way. Every day, we fight a new war against fake news, toxins, porcupines, germs, stupidity, and catastrophe. There's a lot of ways to wind up dumb. The fact that we survive it all is a miracle. Because every day we live, we face 1,000 ways to lie.
Hello, good morning. My name is Beatriz and I'm here at the Lodge St. Michael's 246. We will be speaking with James Gorham. He is the new master of the Lodge. He would be the rightful person to give us more information about the Lodge because his family has been here for long. As far as his great-grandfather, who happened to have been a Mason of this Lodge. So I would like to invite James Gorham, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you as I gather information of what I'm going to do for the painting. So quickly, as we get started for our viewers, we would like to introduce
My name is James Gorham. I'm the Right Master of Lodge St. Michael number 246 for the next 2 years.
As far as I'm concerned, your great-grandfather was a Mason of this Lodge?
He was indeed, yes. I'm the fourth generation. All with the same name, James Edward Gorham, dating back to about 1880.
That's amazing. Do you want to tell us what growing up experience was like, having a father who was a Mason and the effect it had on you? You know, like, did you ever think or hope to someday follow his steps?
As a boy, I wasn't all that aware of what was going on. Yes, when you as a very young boy, we sailed to South Africa and on board the ship my father met us some other Masons, which was my first insight into Freemason, I suppose, in that it showed me that there's a way of building a social network of friends no matter where in the world you are, so you're never going to be alone. When we came back to Scotland, I was 9, and we lived in Dundee at that time, and the first and third Thursday of every month we would come across to Tayport. Myself, my sister would be, and my mother would be at Granny Gordon's in Butterwind, while my dad and my grandfather came along to the meetings here. We'd then go up and get the last trains. Still steam trains in those days, which I remember the smell and all this. And we were sitting on the steam train waiting for the Masons who lived in Dundee to come back. And the trains weren't always very punctual in those days. And it wasn't until later years I found out that one of the train drivers was a Mason. And they used to have a beer or two after the meeting. And all the Dundee lads were sitting there watching him. He's going, we better run for the train now. So it was good
fun. Okay, it's very interesting you visit Africa when you say you were about 2 years old.
When I was 2, came back when I was 9.
You were very little then, and you probably do not remember. But you mentioned that your father was in contact with some other lodges in Africa?
Yes, he was. He met some Masons on the ship, first of all. And then we started off in Cape Town, and then we moved to Durban. And Dad visited a lodge there regularly. He even took office in one of the lodges there, I believe. And one of the things I have in my possession, which gives me a lot of pleasure, is a Bible that was presented to him by that lodge when we came back to the UK.
What can you tell me of, is that Regalia?
Regalia, yes.
Okay.
The Regalia dates back really to the days of operative masonry, when the masons working in the quarries would wear aprons to protect them from the dirt and grime of the quarries. And we later we moved away from operative masonry into free masonry. We maintained the regalia of the apron as part and parcel of our links to ancient masonry. The sashes are really just to denote which lodge you're a member of. So we've got the lodge name and number usually on them.
And the sleeves?
The sleeves are worn only by the master and the 2 wardens. And they're to basically show people that these are the 3 people who are there to rule the lodge.
Okay. Does the regalia is being passed down from father to a son, or is contested for?
Most of us buy our own regalia, unless you take office. Now, if you take office, you wear the lodge regalia, because otherwise you're buying a new regalia every couple of years as you move up through the posts. I have both my own regalia, which I bought as a young mason, and currently I wear the lodge regalia for the Right Watchman Masters.
It is observed that other religions or temples answer to some higher authority somehow, that it rules. For example, Catholic Church answers to the Pope and the Catholic Church in Rome. What do you tell us about the organization of the lodge? Do they answer to a higher authority or individual?
We do. Ultimately we all answer to God, which is one of our basic beliefs. But in this world we answer to the Master of the Lodge in the first instance, Provincial Grand Lodge, which is the body which oversees the 49 lodges within Fife and Kinross, and then of course the Grand Lodge of Scotland. The same situation would arise in England. They would have the Sanctuary Command, but it would be Grand Lodge of England, Grand Lodge of France, Grand Lodge of Germany, and so on and so forth. Each country would have their own Grand Lodge, who visit us periodically and make sure we're working within the rules and that everything's up and above board. They audit our accounts every year, so that everything's meticulously checked.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, I hear that different lodges, like he's mentioned, from England, Scotland, and perhaps other countries, usually meet each other 4 times a year in order to continually foster unity and continually promote their philosophy. Is that what you mean?
No, the 4 meetings a year are the 4 meetings within the province, where the 49 lodges within Fife and Kinross would meet in a lodge, which would be chosen by provincial, and that would be the day where the provincial office bearers would run the day, communicate with us what's going on in the province, what we're doing, what's happening around the place, so we keep us all informed of things like this. We also do, of course, visit other lodges in other areas. Last year we had the privilege of visiting the most northerly lodge in Scotland, and next year I'm currently in the process of arranging for us to visit the most southerly lodge in Scotland. I've also visited English lodges, and we have English lodges visit us as well.
How was that?
Actually, very, very different, but actually fantastic. One of our past masters is, you've met Dr. Clark. He actually joined Freemasonry in France. So he was originally a French Freemason.
Started there.
Yes, then he moved back to England and joined English lodges, and he's now, of course, joined Scottish lodges. So he's one of the few people I know, in fact, probably the only person I know who belongs to all three in Europe. A fantastic man, he is indeed.
Have there been instances where a Mason is said to have criminal records?
A Mason is not allowed to have criminal records. When you apply to join, one of the questions you're asked several questions. The first is, do you believe in a supreme being or a god, depending on your religion. The other question is, do you have any criminal records? And if you have a criminal record, then you would not be joining Freemasonry. If you join Freemasonry and then get a criminal record, that would then be reported to initially Provincial Grand Lodge and then Grand Lodge of Scotland, who have their own disciplinary committee, and you would be expelled from Freemasonry.
Very interesting, the criteria to become a Mason. What can you tell us about, what's the whole criteria? Can you number 4 or 5?
Yeah, the whole criteria is first and foremost, you must believe in a supreme being. That's it. Without that, if you're an atheist, Freemasonry is not for you. You must be of sound judgment and good moral character. You must be known to at least 2 members of the lodge for a minimum of 3 years. So you can't just have somebody walking on the streets and joining there. And you can have no criminal records or any sort of dodgy character at all. They would just not be allowed in.
What about a female?
Females are not allowed to join Freemasonry as such. We do have separate orders for them. The Order of Eastern Star is one example.
Has a woman has ever been involved working along with the Masons on the same order? I am aware of Eastern Star organization, which is a female and has their base in Edinburgh, perhaps in another parts as well. But there is any records of a female working along with the Masons as another Mason? Without any differences?
There are 3 recorded cases, to my knowledge, of females joining Freemasonry. They date back usually to about the 17th and 1800s. Okay. In those days, lodges tended to meet in large houses, and my understanding of these cases is that certainly one of them was the daughter of the house. She was spying on the ceremony, and they said, "Well, you know what's going on here now. You may as well just join us." So she joined. That's it. And I think other cases were very, very similar. But actually, there is also female Masonic lodges as well, Freemason lodges. They're not recognised by Grand Lodge of Scotland, but they do exactly the same as we do.
Okay. Information gathered from the internet, especially from particular videos uploaded by certain individuals, probably bored in their houses, links your organization with satanic cultural practices, maybe because of the rituals involved and the misinformation and no knowledge about the word ritual and what is with them. We would like to clear our fears and doubts about the organization. Is this really satanic, and what does this mean to you?
I've read some of these articles. I think they're written by people who are either totally ignorant and are guessing because they don't know what happens behind closed doors, and some of them are written by people who maybe joined Freemasonry and become disillusioned with it, so they've got an axe to grind. Yeah. But there is nothing satanic in Freemasonry. It's, as I said before, you must believe in God.
I'm sorry to ask you, but I felt the need to ask you because there is so much.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Speaking about the rituals, has such an interesting word. What role does the ritual play in the process of becoming a Freemason?
Ritual, by definition, is a repetition of a series of events. So you get up in the morning, you have your shower, you clean your teeth.
Yeah.
That's ritual. It's a way of ensuring uniformity throughout the world, so that anybody who joins Freemasonry will go through the same process. So that, for example, I met my father earlier on, when he joined Scottish Freemasonry, he went through these various rituals. So he was on board ship and living in Africa, he visit any lodge with the same rituals there. Otherwise, anybody can walk on the street and say, "Hey, I'm a Mason, I can see what you're doing." Because we'd have no way of stopping them, we'd have no way of knowing if they were genuine. And that way could allow some dodgy characters. So we have the ritual to ensure uniformity across the world.
So when you meet someone, let's say that he claims to be a Mason, you have a certain code that if he is really a Mason, you will both know.
Yes, yes.
And that's kind of the rituals
the ritual,
to go through?
It is. I mean, the rituals are mainly about restating your allegiance to the Queen or monarch of your country that you're in, and to God. The rituals, there's nothing secret about the rituals. They are all documented, they're all in the Bible.
Yeah.
The only secrets are the passwords and handshakes.
And that's what you mentioned when you meet someone that you doubt or not he could be a Mason.
Yeah.
That's what you use to clarify that he is.
Exactly. And that, again, dates back to ancient masonry when they worked around the quarries. You couldn't have, for example, a lot of masons were employed in building the cathedrals throughout Europe, as one example. And if you're somebody who came along, was only an apprentice, he was only just learning his trade, he thought, I can need some extra money, I'll pretend to be a master mason. Then you'd have a bad job. So there's ways of identifying what rank they're at.
Yeah. Okay, how many different religions are known to have lodges, like this one, for example, with different Bibles or books for their particular belief? We know about Muslim, Christian, Jews. Do you know of any other?
Yes, there's also Sikhs as well. Any of the main religions, I say, as long as they believe in one God, they are open to join. Open to join Freemasonry. We've actually got one Sikh in Fife who's a regular attender to the various lodges, a lovely guy he is. The only difference in the rituals is that in our lodge, which is a Christian lodge, we have the Holy Bible on the altar. In any other lodge of a different denomination, they would have their Holy Scripture on there. That's the only difference.
Okay. So as a master of the lodge, you have to take care of and equally find ways to improve it, as then you mentioned. Is this something you enjoy at this phase of your life? As a very busy person?
Yeah. It's something I enjoy immensely. When I joined Freemasonry 43 years ago, I never thought I'd end up in the master's chair. I was young and I thought, no, I just enjoy what I'm doing. As I got older and developed more sense of responsibility, I enjoy the role of master, which is about making sure that every member of the lodge is treated fairly and equally. That if anyone's got any problems or troubles of any kind, I'm there to help and support and guide in whatever way I can. You're also responsible for the, you're one of the trustees basically, as a master, so you're responsible for the financial well-being of the lodge as well. So it's a big responsibility,
yeah.
But yes, I enjoy it.
Okay, I would like to come in from another angle. It's one that's very delicate and controversial. We have always had where women want to be heard and no longer want to be relegated. We expect to have equal opportunities and given a chance to lead. Why do you think women weren't working with the builders of a stone that was a mason is?
I think the society has just changed over the thousands of years, and not always for the better. You know, back in the days of the original masons working in the quarries and building temples and cathedrals all over the world, I think there's possibly a greater equality back then than there is now. I think I changed around about the sort of 17th, 18th century, where, for a variety of reasons, again, this is true to my theory, the world was being explored and developed. It was mostly men that were at sea, so on and so forth. I think women were relegated to a different role, and although society is changing slowly is the word. Yeah.
Is there that's where there isn't a male to take over just like you, have two beautiful girls? What is going to happen since it's always been a male?
It will always be male, I think, at least in my lifetime. There will never be a situation where there's no male to take over. Looking back at the notice board there were times when the lodge was low on membership. What usually happens then is one of the past masters will go back in the chair again. My father did it 3 times, which in those days was quite unusual. We've got past master Dixon's done it 3 times, past master McCaffrey's done it twice, past master Martin's done it twice. So there's a few instances
where... and I believe you will do it twice as
well. Well, we've all do it for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a normal thing. We're in a very lucky position in our lodge at the moment. We've got quite a few good members coming through and wanting to be in that chair. So we've got the next 10 years, I think we're safe with succession. And then hopefully we'll open up to new members and see what other changes.
For the tax of the painting and the classical murals of your philosophy that I found extremely interesting. There are certain allegories within the paintings that has took me a while to research meanings and symbols, where I find a female figure. Can you tell us what that means?
It's actually one of the more important stories in Masonic history. This is the story of the Virgin who is weeping over a broken column, holding a sprig of acacia or acacia in one hand and an urn in another, and there's no book there. The broken column is to represent that the temple was not completed before the untimely death, murder of one of the 3 original masters, Hiram Abiff, the architect. The sprig of acacia represents the timely finding of his remains. The urn is representative of the ashes or tears, can be used as well. And the open book is where all the virtues are recorded. And the old man standing behind her, looks like he's playing with her hair, is to represent death, Father Time, who's very patiently untangling her ringlets. And the moral of that part of the story is basically that with time, patience and perseverance, we can achieve.
It is beautiful. How many degrees is Freemasonry?
There are 33 main degrees in Freemasonry, but most of them are not open to all of us. All Freemasons would do in Scotland would do the first 3 degrees, first, second, and third. We will also in Scotland do the mark degree. In England, they only do the first 3, and they don't always do the mark. They can choose. Beyond that, it tends to be by invitation.
By invitation?
Invitation, yeah. So if you're seen to be actively involved in Freemasonry and doing good for the community, so on and so forth, you are likely to be invited to join some of the higher degrees. If you're just sitting there doing nothing, you're not going to get invited.
Okay. Finally, I would like you to tell us a bit about this incident that happened in the most popular book that you mentioned a while ago. There is a familiar story in the Old Testament that tells us about how King Hiram of Tyre and Hiram Abiff, including King Solomon, came together to build Solomon's temple as far back as 966 BC. What could you tell us about this?
The building of the temple is interesting in itself. God had originally told David that he wanted this temple built, but because David was a sinner, God told him, "You will not do this. This will be done by your son Solomon." Now, in those days, sadly, it hasn't changed very much. That the Middle East was full of warring factions. Solomon was a wise king. He was also a warrior king, and he managed to bring peace to the Middle East by a combination of negotiation and treaties and by wars. Some of the tribes would be subjugated for their unruly behaviour. When he brought peace to the area, that, of course, brought an increase in trade and prosperity, as it does. One of the alliances he made was with King Hiram of Tyre. We became very, very good friends. So when Solomon said that he was about to start building this temple dedicated to God, Hiram of Tyre said, "I will loan you my main architect, Hiram of Beef." So Hiram of Beef went across there to work on this, on the building of the first temple.
Okay. I'm gonna just mention on that part that we haven't mentioned before, that I see the intentions of Solomon were to create a unity among different religions on a way impossible to actually work together.
Absolutely.
As a race.
And that is a tradition we've maintained. We are open to all religions.
Yes. And it's a fantastic philosophy that instead to misunderstand, we should dig a little deeper.
Absolutely.
And see what can we learn from it.
Well, Freemasonry is founded on very pure principles of love, belief and charity. And if more of the world would work within these basic beliefs, I think the world would be a better place.
You mentioned charity. As a way to close up, I spent here almost a year, it's going to be, and I realized how many charities for guide dogs, for individuals, for Maggie Center, and many others that you guys do in this lodge. What could you tell us about this?
It's one of the basic things we do in Freemasonry. We support national charities, but we also support local charities. Prostrate Scotland is our main charity for the past couple of years, and I think the last meeting I had, we had in Scotland, we had raised £380,000 for Prostrate Scotland. This small lodge alone in the past year or so has raised about £10,000 for local charities. But there are other charities that spring to mind as well. One of the most recent examples was following the atrocious attack in London.
Yes.
The death of that policeman and 4 others. There was one air ambulance on the scene there. That air ambulance was originally donated by Freemasons because they recognised the need for it. On the day of that attack, they immediately recognised one air ambulance was not enough, so they, within 24 hours, donated £2 million to buy a second air ambulance in London.
I remember you mentioned that back in the days, in another normal situation, you will have to keep it quiet. At this time, they...
Yes, I think second when I joined Freemasonry, it wasn't secretive, but it was very closed. So we didn't talk about what we did, and I think that has led over the years to many of the misunderstandings.
That's why
people see men walking in with suitcases, dark suits, white shirts, and locking the door behind them. They're going to wonder what's going on in there. And I hate to disappoint them, but most of it's actually pretty boring. sitting here talking about, talking about which charity is, but it was.
I never found you guys boring at all.
Oh, we have fun as well.
James, and that's bringing us to the end of this interview with James Gorham. This interview has well enough answered and debunked a lot of myths about the Lodge and Masonry, because we realize the amount of information we are exposed to from the internet, and anybody could be the source of that. So we are the filter to this information about the Lodge and the Masonry, as opposed to the video that was released linking this organization with satanic practices. Thank you once again, James Gorham. It's been a wonderful time here with you. To our viewers, thank you for watching. You can do well, like, comment, and share this video. I'm Beatriz Villacorta. Until next time. Thank you so much.
That's rocks, rising.
Power to end time. Danger far power. Power in him hour. That's